your gift at a young age that you had this powerful gift.
No, I didn't. I didn't understand it. I didn't appreciate it. Because also by the time I got to sixth grade, my elementary school went up to sixth grade. So it was graduation. We did our final song, all that stuff. And I sort of kind of made a vow that I wouldn't sing in school.
Why?
So, because I didn't like how it was more so people wanted to be my friend because I could sing and not because of who I was.
Welcome to Storytime with Sirece.
Preview.
And now, let's all welcome your host, Sirece Thomas. Hi, guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come on in. Come on in. Welcome to another Story Time with Sirece. It's Saturday, so we have a new episode on the horizon. And I am elated. I seriously am. I have the honor and privilege this time of interviewing one of my childhood friends. I've grown up over 20 years. I've seen her mainly on the stage, okay? You guys know her as a worship leader, a songstress. She's had an album out. She's got another one coming. She's an author now, a mom, a wife, a minister. Yeah, the list gets pretty extensive with this one. And you guys are truly in for a treat. Many times when we see our leaders and our ministers and people that we aspire to on the stage, we really don't have the opportunity to hear about their story. So sit back, relax, and enjoy as we get into this. Everyone, put your hands together for the Jossie Singletary.
Hi guys, how are you? I'm so happy to be here.
Jossie, girl, we already started the interview before the interview, and I'm like, no, let's get started. Okay? Because I'm going to be learning right along with you guys. It is such a blessing to have you here. I'm super excited that you have the courage to share. Recently, as a mom, she has a Mommy Chronicles, which we have to put out there. And I'm telling
Yes.
you, these chronicles help you get through motherhood. They sure have everything. But make sure you check her out because she does some Zooms and things like that. And she connects the mothers. And just on top of everything else you're doing, of course you would release a book. I mean, like, you know what I'm saying?
I
There's
had to get my
a
thoughts
lot.
out. I had to get my thoughts out.
Yes, Jossie. So it's like we see you in so many levels, wearing so many hats. Like I said, mom, wife, songstress, worship leader, minister, and the list goes on. Friend, you know what I mean? Jossie is
Yeah.
a loyal. She has been consistent from the day I have met her. The
Thank you.
smile has been consistent. The energy has been consistent. And it's just a blessing to continue to get to know her and to see her evolve in her own life. And I know that it's only a glimpse of where God is taking you. I'm like
Thank you.
watching her from a distance and I'm like, wow, yeah, this is just, you thought you were, this is just the beginning. So
Thank you.
I'm excited, here on Storytime, we like to dive into the stories. We like to get real. We like to allow you to share a part
Mhm.
of your life that you don't often get to share with the world. Jossie has truly blessed the nations, and I don't say that exaggeratively. She has literally taken her gift around the world. And this
Mhm.
time, we want to be able to hear just a little bit about you. We're going to talk a little bit about Jossie and her childhood growing up and what family life was like for her. And we're just going to go ahead and get started. She has two beautiful daughters, okay, and an amazing husband. He's hilarious.
Yes.
He's also multi-talented.
Yes. And
He's
he
a
needs
little
to be
bit.
on here too.
He needs to be on here too. I already know that Mr. Terrence Singletary has a story to tell, but
Oh,
we're
he has a
gonna get to him.
story to tell.
Oh, say less, say less. I'm gonna be bugging him after this one. So I'm
Yes.
talking about a multifaceted family. Even in your daughters, I
Mhm.
can see the purpose bursting at the seams with them. I'm just like,
Yeah.
wow, God is so good the way that He blesses us to raise and pour into these little ones.
Mhm.
Um, but it's so important that we take a moment to pause and share. And that's what this platform is all about, for us to really understand you. It even allows us to appreciate your gift and your ministry even more, to know where you came from. So let's
Mhm.
get into it. The Jossie Singletary, let's go through time, take it
Yes.
back. Tell us a little bit about your childhood growing up. I mean, young Jossie, because I might have met you when you were like 12, 13.
Yeah.
Jossie
Yeah.
before then.
So I was born and raised in Brooklyn, New York. My mom, Joyce Smiley, she had 4 kids, has 4 kids. I have an older brother, his name is Steven. My older sister is Yvette, then Melissa, and I'm the baby. Um, and what most people don't realize is there is a decent age gap between all of my siblings. So when I came around, it was more so I was everybody's baby.
Mm.
Um, so it was almost like I was an only child as well, because my brother, he had moved out when he was young. My older sister, by the time uh I was a few years, she had moved out. That she had moved out. She had her child and her daughter, Jacinda, and so I spent a lot of time with just my mom. But in the interim, Melissa, she would braid my hair all the time, and I would spend the night with Yvette when my mom had to work. I spent a lot of time in church. My mom took me to Sunday school. She took me to Bible study. I was in the children's choir. I grew up in the church, my home church, Rugged Cross Baptist Church in on Lafayette in Brooklyn. I sung in the choir. I was on the usher board. I was in the missionaries. I went to Bible school, vacation Bible school in the summer.
Hey, this
So
makes sense now.
yeah,
You were born and raised in the church on a
yes,
whole nother level. Like I just went to Sunday school and I played the angel in the church play.
yes,
You was up
everything.
there in Bible vacation school.
I
Oh,
had to
Lord.
remember scriptures, and I sung a lot. I sung in school. My second grade teacher, we had, like, you do the productions in school, and she heard me humming in the back of my classroom, and she was like, "Hey, do you think you would want to sing for our class presentation?" And I was like, "Okay, like,
Wow.
sure." And that was my first time singing in elementary school. And they knew that I was the singer of the school. So I sung every year
Did you
up
know that you
until,
were a singer?
nah,
Interesting. So you
nah.
just were up there singing and you're like, oh, well, I guess but you
Yeah, it's
realized
a
that
thing.
your gift at a young age that you had this powerful gift.
No, I didn't. I didn't understand it. I didn't appreciate it. Because also by the time I got to 6th grade, my elementary school went up to 6th grade. So it was graduation. We did our final song, all that stuff. And I sort of kind of made a vow that I wouldn't sing in school.
Why?
So, because I didn't like how it was more so people wanted to be my friend because I could sing and not because of who I was.
Interesting.
Um, so it was like, I just rather just be a regular kid
Mhm.
around here. And even in my junior high school, I did not sing at all.
Wow, you just
Um,
let it off.
yeah,
Now, while you were at
seventh grade, 8th grade, um, seventh and 8th grade. By the time we got to 8th grade, we had a choice of whether or not we wanted to be in the choir, or if we wanted to be in the band, and I chose to be a part of the band.
don't you tell me that. Don't you tell me you was out there with the trumpet, Jossie.
No, 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 I wasn't with a trumpet. I played the congas.
You know what? You know what? You was like, you played you know what? I am crying. You was like, no, I don't sing, but I got this beat for y'all. Da, 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 da. You know what? That is so oh my goodness. Wow. Wow.
Yeah, and it wasn't until my 8th grade, until I got into 8th grade, and my 8th grade music teacher, Miss Hockaday, she was looking at me like, "Girl, I'm gonna teach you, to sing. I'm gonna teach you the notes, and I learned how to read music and everything."
Wow.
And she was looking at me like, "Why you don't want to sing?" So I ended up being a part of the choir, and I still got an opportunity to
God just
sing, but
reeled you right back on in. Now,
yeah, yeah.
I'm thinking about this. I'm thinking, what was going on at home? Because was anybody telling you at home, like, girl, you've got to get
So I was being told that I had a gift. I was being told, but I mainly sung in church. I
Gotcha.
did do competitions in elementary school where I got first place, you know, for soloists of the
Wow.
year and all that stuff. I think my signature song was "What About the Children?" In elementary school. So I did that, and um at home, my mom, she worked at nights with Amtrak.
Okay.
So most of my nights I had to spend the night out at either at my godmother's house, which was like right down the block,
Hmm.
or I had to go to my aunt's house, which was across town. So it was a lot because I still had to go to school.
Right.
So um I would
And
spend the night
everybody, all
out.
your older siblings had moved out.
Yeah,
So it was
yeah,
just your mom. What
yep.
about your dad?
Wasn't present.
Gotcha.
Um so my relationship with my father is um different. I'll say I still every once in a while reach out to him.
Okay.
But I know who he is. He
Yeah.
knows who I am.
Yeah.
But that's about
That's about it. Let
it.
it go. So
That's about it.
you and mom were hanging tough.
Oh, we were besties,
Oh,
best
y'all were
buddies.
besties, and she had
Yeah.
overnight, so she's holding down the fort. Your older
Mm-hmm.
siblings are out. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I think,
Yeah.
and you had to
Yeah.
constantly sleep somewhere else because she's
Mm-hmm.
working overnight. Ooh,
Yeah.
the job of a mom. Wow,
Yeah,
wow.
yeah. And so between my aunt and my uncle, they would either bring me back home or she would pick me up early in the morning, right before I had to go to school to bring me back home. I would get dressed at home and then go to school, which was great. My school was right across the street.
Oh,
So
okay.
I didn't have to, take public transportation or anything like that. But I could tell that it was a lot for her.
Yeah.
Now that I'm older, I
Yes.
understand where it's like, oh nah,
Working
sis.
overnight,
Mm-hmm,
potentially going across town sometimes to your aunt's house to pick you up, bring you
mm-hmm,
back home to get you
mm-hmm,
ready for school. God bless.
mm-hmm. And then would sleep all day up until it was time for me to get home. And then when I come home, she'd be back up, try to give me, a little bit of her time, her and me time.
Yeah.
And then if she had to work, then she would go back to work, do the whole
And
cycle
you
all over
remember that.
again.
What was this like for you as a young girl? Did you feel like, I just want to stay home? You know what I mean? Or did you feel like, hey, this is cool? You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I
Yeah.
didn't I didn't
You didn't
understand
you
it
didn't
at the time.
overthink it. Yeah.
No, it was
Now as
like,
a
oh,
mom,
I'm
see,
going to my aunt's house.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is why I can't complain, because these days I just be like, I hear these things sometimes from like our moms, and I'm just like, oh my goodness, that is
Hmm.
that is a lot. Because I know
Yeah.
for her, I'm sure sometimes she was probably like, I just want my baby girl home.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
she had to do.
Yeah, she was very I guess intentional of not letting me know that she was struggling or,
Wow.
needed help. I
Yeah.
think her help was her sister, which was across town, and my godmother, which she lived right down the block. And but with my godmother, she had fostered kids. So it was a lot of children in her house. So there was times where it was okay for me to be over there with all of the rest of the kids, but then after a while it was like, okay, maybe go to aunt's house and
Yeah.
we'll rotate it instead of me
Ooh,
always being over there.
right. Exactly.
Um, in that happening, my older sister, Yvette, she reached out to my mom and she was like, I really, really would love for Jossie to have a different life, a better life.
Wow.
She had got married to Minister Aaron,
Mm-hmm.
and like right after she invited me over to the house, their house that they had just moved in, and she was
Oh,
like, hey, you want to come over? She was pregnant with her firstborn son, and she was like, you want to just come over, spend the night or whatever. So I was like, yeah, sure. The first night that I was there, I was like, oh, can I stay?
oh my
um
goodness.
and she was like, we'll think about it and everything. What I didn't know she did, she went to my mom and she spoke to my mom and was like, I think Jossie would have a more fulfilling life if she didn't have to always go from one house to the next. And the neighborhood wasn't all that great. It was East New York at the time, and so she was like, I really, really think that Jossie should come and live with us. So at first it was, I just spent the night every once in a while. And then they went and did the legal went the legal route and adopted me. So they have the legal papers, they went to court and everything. So technically, my oldest sister is my mom and my brother-in-law is my dad.
Oh, I mean, you talk about sacrifice. Yeah,
Yeah.
I keep just seeing Yvette pregnant.
Yeah, yes.
Making this decision to already having her daughter pregnant with her firstborn son and open to taking in her younger sister. And
Yeah.
what was that like for you in the process of them? Because, they could have just taken you in, but they went further to take ownership. And that it says so much
Mm-hmm.
because even as a child, it's just like, okay, this is where you belong now. Doesn't
Mm-hmm.
negate your relationship with your mother in any way, but what
Mm-hmm.
we're providing for you is permanent stability. And
Yeah.
that is just like, that sacrifice is huge. And
Yeah.
process, especially in the legal spot of it, did you understand that?
No, I
Mhm.
had no idea. And
Right.
the way it worked out, it was nothing changed. It wasn't like once I became adopted, I had to call my sister
Mhm.
mom or I had to call my brother-in-law dad. It everything still worked normal. It was like, okay, she's going to school out here, she's getting a bus,
Wow.
call your mom, tell her how your day went. So it wasn't like they just took me and that
Right.
was it.
Exactly.
Life was the same. I eventually grew to a place where I started calling them mom and dad because it's just like you guys are those individuals to
Yeah.
me. Yes,
Yep.
yes, I have my mom, my biological mom, but Yvette, she would pour into me every morning, like it was almost like she was like, oh no, I'm gonna make sure I take care of you as if you are my own
Mm.
so that you have a better life than I had because she has Melissa, Yvette, and Steven, they all have a different relationship with my mom because they're closer in age. They experience certain things that I didn't experience. So like even in learning who they are, I'm like, wow, I would have never known, you went through this with mommy, or I didn't know you went through this with our father. Like he was more present with them
Oh,
versus with me.
gotcha. Yep.
So
Hmm.
um a lot of emotions that they have, I don't
Yeah.
have because I
Yeah.
didn't go
Mm-mm.
so with having Yvette present, she kept me grounded. I wasn't in like Sunday school all the time. That's when I started going to CCC
Yep.
and CLC at the time.
TLC. Yep.
And I started going to Sunday school. I worked in the tape ministry.
Oh, that's
I
right.
I helped Minister Aaron and Linda, and I
Yeah.
learned the process of church. And I spent late nights at the church when it was time for them to do their work, and it was like it was almost like I was doing the same thing all over again, just in a different space.
I
So.
love it. I love how God, in his own strategic way, he almost prepares and grooms us for where we're going. And it always brings
Mhm.
me back to Jeremiah 29:11, one of
Yeah,
my
yeah,
faves. I know
yeah.
the plans. And I think about that. God always has a plan. Even when
Hmm.
you came in and you were born as the youngest sibling and all the different experiences with your older siblings and their parents. And now here
Hmm.
you are. He had a specific plan. And what I love about the transition from your mom to your older sister and your brother-in-law is that he has such a plan that it's so specific that he will
Hmm.
actually assign people to your
Yeah,
life in specific roles that are specific to your purpose and where you're
yeah,
so
yeah.
Yvette and Aaron became the role of mom and dad because
Hmm.
that's how God assigned it. It didn't negate who your biological mother was to you, but
Hmm.
he had bigger. He's like, this is where we're going to go with this.
Oh yeah, yeah,
To
yeah.
me, that is always mind blowing.
Yeah.
He does that.
Yeah, I think even with Yvette, she grew up in the same neighborhood, so she understood the environment that I was in,
Mhm.
and it was more so like let's get her out before anything turns
Wow. Love that.
left.
Shout out to the big sisters. I'm because
Listen.
that's some
I
serious big sister stuff.
I am beyond grateful, okay?
Listen,
Because
okay.
the mischief that I probably could have gotten to as a teenager,
Wow.
she got
Right.
me out right before I turned a teenager.
Interesting. You don't even think about where your path could have led staying in a certain, even in a certain neighborhood.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
just simply shifting over to different people. It's the people that really mold you because you could have
yeah.
been in the same neighborhood, different people,
Hmm.
and God was able to really just go like this. Like this is
Yeah,
where you're headed.
yeah.
Ooh, oh my goodness.
I'm beyond grateful.
Wow.
And I think as time progressed, it it didn't feel like um it didn't feel like I was separated from my mom.
Hmm.
It was, did you call mommy? And you had to know, I had to know when to switch it on and off. Like, okay,
Yeah, I
today
know that's right.
you're my big sister today. Got it.
Exactly.
Oh, your mom today. Got
Got
it.
it. I know that's right. I would have switched it. I'd be like, hey, listen, I don't know who you talking to because you know my mom. All right, mom, I just need something right now.
Yes.
You gotta know when to go back and forth. I mean, that's
Yeah,
a
yeah,
blessing. You're so
yeah,
again, you are in this relationship, and this relationship with your sister and your brother-in-law, it evolves. It shifts,
yeah,
then it evolves. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying? And so
yeah, yeah.
as you got older and you started to understand the impact of what they did and where you were, how did that affect your faith and even just your outlook? Did it ever, how did you look at your mother in that way? From understanding what happened, you just always were able to just understand it and receive it? Or did you ever feel any type of resentment? Or what was that like for you as you got older?
So I believe that my relationship with Aaron and Yvette, they molded me to see God in a different way.
Amen.
To see God in a way that he looks out for you and he knows what he wants for you, and you just have to be you have to be in the right space, right mindset to receive it, right? I think if they would have tried to do it later in my teenage life, I probably would have been like, nah, I'm good, I can take care of myself or whatever.
Yeah.
I think they listened to God, and God knew that that was the right moment for me to move, right? Um, I believe that in having a father figure in my life, a consistent father figure, it helped me to make better decisions. I probably didn't make the best decisions, but I had someone that really cared. I have someone that really cares about me enough to say, hey, I have your best interest at heart. I just need you to listen to me. And
Yep.
if you listen to me, I got you. And that's basically the same way God treats you. Like he says, if you just listen to me, I got you. Like
See that.
I got you. And um
Ooh,
it has made me appreciate what a father's role is in mainly a girl's life. Because I could have been pregnant, I could have been on drugs, I could have, been on the street somewhere,
right.
but he made sure that he put someone in my life that could keep me grounded as well as not alter who I am.
Mm.
I like you said, I'm a joyous person, I'm a happy person, and there were any moments where I like went into full depression because of my relationship with my adopted parents. They made sure that I felt good, and they made sure that I was in a good headspace. If there were any moments where, you know, teenager Jossie was acting crazy, it was, hey, let's have a seat, let's talk. It wasn't, I'm gonna spank you and not speak to you.
Right.
It
Right.
was, hey, let's sit down, let's talk, let's reason with one another, because that's what we're supposed to do in the word, right? Let's
Yep.
reason with one another to understand why you made the decision that you made, and how can we help you to not make that decision if it was for the detriment, or how can we better each other? What could I have done better? And um I believe that I wouldn't have had that if
Oh,
they wouldn't have come into my life like
wow.
the way that they have.
They did that so strategically, and that's why you got to be called to a place, especially when we get assigned to people and people get assigned to us, and you got to
Mm-hmm.
know like that you're called because they did it in such a strategic way that you
Mm-hmm.
could never tell me that that was your story. And people ask those questions like, "Oh, well, were you mad?" No, this is my life. I actually feel blessed because I see it differently. My perspective is that God looked out for me. My perspective is
Yeah.
that He shifted and added a role to my life that was actually absent in the beginning.
Yeah. Yeah.
Father. And it's so
Yeah.
funny when you would come around, one thing we knew when it came to Minister Aaron, don't mess with Jossie, honey. You know what I'm saying? Don't mess with, at the
Yeah.
time, it was like, don't mess with Dorothy. All right.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
you
Yes.
saw his presence was there, and it does. It's a priceless role for a girl
Yeah.
to have a father figure in their life. And God added that. He looked, I love how you said, if you listen to me, I got you. I got
Yeah.
you. And that is
Yeah.
so big. So they were able to allow you to maintain a normal, healthy relationship with your mother while
Mm-hmm.
embracing these new roles. And there's so many people out there that fight those roles. They get
Yeah.
people that are assigned to them. No, but that's that. No, I'm good. Like you said, if you were older, you might have been like, no, I'm good. You know, you're not going to change up things. This is, and they miss the blessing and they miss the
Yeah.
opportunity that, but God is sending you these people, whether they're in
Mm-hmm.
your family or not. Embrace those roles because they are
Yeah.
part of the specific purpose that God has on your life. And that
Listen,
is so empowering.
if they wouldn't have taken me in, I would have never met Pastor A.R. Bernard. I
Wow.
would have never met majority of everybody that I know that knows me. Up until now, like I wouldn't be on the stages that I'm on
No.
because I
Wow.
if they wouldn't have made that decision and my mom wasn't on one accord, then I would not be where I am today.
Mm.
I I can honestly say I would not be where I am. I would be definitely be on a different path, but not where I am today.
So when you really look at that big picture, it's like, ooh, and it's like
That one decision.
that one decision, and it's like the right, because some people they try to get people assigned to them that are not supposed to be. They get
Yeah.
people that you get in your lives and you put them in roles that they're not supposed to be in. So you see, like you could have had people that took you in and covered you up, covered that light up, but they
Yeah.
cultivated your gift, made
Right.
you confident in it, and they allowed you to share it literally with the
With the
world.
world. Yeah.
Girl. Story time. What? That gives me such perspective and so much
Yeah.
respect for what they've done and just so much understanding of the importance of when God places people in your life. He not even places, I love the word plan because plan comes with assignment and he
Mm-hmm.
assigns these people and people don't understand the power of people that are
Yeah.
assigned to your life can literally
Yes.
change your life. We don't want
Yeah.
to be up there. Young be pregnant. That would have been a whole
Listen.
different story. All right,
Listen.
we got Dorothy and a little baby on the way. All right, and the parents
No.
gonna help. I don't know. It would have just we would have made it work though. But
Yeah, but it
wow,
would have been bad. It would
it
have
would
been
have been a
terrible.
little bad.
It would have been terrible.
This is crazy. It's just
Yeah.
so I love how when we fall in line with God and the people that He's placing in our lives, they're literally resources and pathways to the stages of life for our
Yep.
gifts to shine. And
Mm-hmm.
that is just, guys, if you are listening to this story, don't miss it. Think about the people that God has assigned to your life and understand the power of that impact. So now
Yeah.
you are today, just still on the glimpse of all that God is doing. You are a mother,
Mm-hmm.
you are a minister,
Mm-hmm.
you are a leader now. What
Yeah.
is that as you look, unfortunately, we just lost Mama Joyce. And
Yeah.
tell me a little bit about as a mom yourself and looking back, because even her doing that was a sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
It was a sacrifice for Minister Yvette and Minister Aaron to take you in, but it was a sacrifice for mom to say, you
Mm-hmm.
know what, you're right. I'm going to give her a better life and I'm going to allow God to step in. And
Mm-hmm.
what are your thoughts on her today as you look back and how your relationship even evolved with her as you stepped into your adult years?
So I was just reflecting yesterday, like because I didn't really understand what she sacrificed. It was more so, oh, I'm going along with the flow. Okay, mommy, okay, I'm going there. I'm going, okay. But to know that um, she sacrificed so much. She made sure that I had food on the table. Even if she didn't eat, she made sure I had something to eat. Um, if she had to work, she changed her schedule so that she could um make sure that I was good so that she can go to work. Um, I'm like, she taught me how to cook. Like, she taught me how to trust God.
Wow.
Boy, she taught me how to read by giving me the Bible and was like, okay, this is how we're going to learn to read. I read the Bible, and that's how I learned how to read as a young child. Um, she made sure that she did what the word says, train up a child in the way that they should go, and when they're old, they won't depart. And I understand that more now than when I was a kid. Because it's just like, oh, mommy, I gotta learn the scripture. Okay, I'll learn the scripture. But now it's like, oh no, roll it off the tongue. Let's go. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not to your own understanding, but in all your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. Regardless of how you're feeling, you are more than a conqueror. Let's do this. Like, and it's so simple as in just memorizing those scriptures so that you can begin to apply them as you get older. When the trials and the tribulations come, you can just, it could just roll off your tongue. And she made sure that I was grounded enough in the word so that when I got old, I can't depart. Even I would never depart. It don't make sense to
No,
go in a
you
different
are
direction.
engulfed, okay?
Yes, yeah,
Surrounded by the
yeah,
word of
yeah,
God. Yeah,
yeah. And
wow.
I believe that going through my grieving process, like it has been um it's been challenging, especially because my older siblings, they're grieving a different way. Um, where, when I got older, I called my mom every once in a while, but we had Marco Polo. So Marco Polo, she would jump on, I'd jump on. Even if we didn't connect the same day, we still spoke, we still heard each other's voices. And she came out to my house when my firstborn was born, and she cooked for us and she cleaned our house. She made sure we were good. And I think that she tried her best with what she knew, what to do and how to do it. And I am forever grateful that God chose her to bring me into the world, because she prayed when we were all in her womb that we will all sing, do anything, something with music. She named us all after musical artists. So I'm named after Jocelyn Brown. Yvette, her middle name is Roberta, for Roberta Flack. Melissa, her middle name is Diana, for Diana Ross. And my older brother, his middle name is Steven, for Stevie Wonder.
Wow.
So she was very intentional with, the purpose of her kids, and she prayed for us, and we all turned out, I'd say, pretty good.
Oh, no,
All
agree with the twins.
ministers for the most part. Yeah,
Yes.
we all are fully grounded in our relationship with God. So regardless of what happens in the world that we see, we have that foundation, and she gets all of the credit for it.
Credit. And you took the word right out of my mouth as you were just describing her and what she did and the choices she made and how she showed up in your adult years, how she showed up as you became a mom. She lived a very intentional life.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm just
Yeah.
listening as she shifted her schedule and she got here and she picked you up from there and then she sent you here and then she allowed you to be adopted by, she was very intentional.
Mm-hmm.
When you live an intentional life like that, it's just evidence of your relationship with God. Because when
Mm-hmm.
people don't have the God of Gods guiding their lives, they're all over the place.
Yep.
They're all over the place. They're oh, well, maybe I'll do, and this is my, and this is, they're assigning people to their lives and they're running to
Mm-hmm.
different, but your mother seemed to live a very, like you said, with whatever she had, she used what was in her hand. She used
Mm-hmm.
the knowledge that she had and she used that, and she was very intentional. And that goes a much farther way than someone that has all the resources, the money, you can have the mansion, you could grow up
Yep.
like this, and yet you have completely no direction and no guidance.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're everything you're doing is unintentional. You're
Mm-hmm.
grabbing the wind. So we tip our hat off to your mother for her
Thank you.
intentional life and the
Yeah.
seeds of her sacrifices, because that's what it is, the seeds of sacrifices that are continuing to take root and blossom in you, your
Yeah.
siblings, and their children. Because I
Yeah.
see their children are out here making huge marks in the world, and their
Everybody raised in the church.
children.
Yeah.
And continuing and continue. Yes, exactly. So it's just like, it's incredible. So I know that she is at the top of the tree looking down at all the branches that are coming from her intentional choices, her sacrifices as her mom, and her obedience, because
Yeah.
obedience is even better than sacrifice. And what she
Mm-hmm.
did with you was rooted in obedience,
Yeah, for sure. For
mixed
sure.
with sacrifice. And that is hard. As mothers now, and I'm not gonna, don't do it. Don't do it. It's the mother. Breathe in, breathe out. Come on, you from Brooklyn, I'm from Queens. Let's just, let's show them who we are.
Oh yeah.
I know.
Help, Lord.
Okay. As mothers today, to even think about my daughter or your daughters,
Mm-hmm.
to have to make a sacrificial and obedient choice like that, I just think about your mom sometimes and bring it in. What that could have been like for her behind the
Mm-hmm.
scenes,
Yeah.
and seeing that,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
so God bless her. God
Yeah.
bless you guys. So I
I,
know,
I think I think for her, it
oh,
was sort of kind of a relief,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Because not only did she raise the four of us, she raised her siblings as well. And she had 10. So she was a
Mama.
mom for a
Oh,
very long
mama.
time.
Wow, what
A
a
mom for a
role.
very long time.
See,
Yeah.
and you see, you might get a snippet of her story about what she did with you, but if you don't see the bigger picture, she was
Yeah.
in that role of motherhood for eons.
Yeah.
Did not know that. I did not
Yeah.
know that. Even that understanding right there, there's depth to that. To
Yeah.
who she is, the wisdom that she has from being in that role, probably earlier in her years before she probably intended to step into that role.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
do you know anything about her relationship with her mother?
So I don't know her relationship with her mom, but I do know that she did get married young. I want to say 18. I could be wrong.
Her mother got married young.
No. My mom got married young. And I think when she was pregnant with her oldest, my grandmother was pregnant with her youngest.
Wow.
So it's,
Wow.
they were raising kids at the same.
I'm telling you, it's the baby shower, planning for me. Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Look, he's a good God. And I love how he uses everything. He uses
yeah.
everything and it all comes down. It's like a ripple effect. And that's the thing. Like you just making one decision to listen to God, you don't realize the ripple effect that
Mm-hmm.
choice has. And her
Yeah,
making decision after intentional decision after decision rooted in that obedience has been a huge ripple effect. So God bless her and the life
yeah.
that she lived and the life that she has paved out for you. Your mom
Thank you.
listening, she's smiling down on you. What would you say?
I would say first, thank you. Um, Thank you for being great.
Hmm,
Um,
I know. Well,
Thank you for being um an amazing woman of God who raised amazing children. For intentionally listening to God and for listening and for doing and not being a mom where it's like, okay, bye. I ain't got no more kids. I'm good. Everybody's at the house. You were very intentional, and I truly, truly am grateful to be your daughter. And I pray that I'm even an ounce of what she was.
up. It's too early for this. Too early. This was so good. God bless you, Jossie. Thank
I
you.
love you.
God bless
Thank you for having me.
girl. Thank you for being here. Thank you for taking the courage and bust. I know you got messed up. That's why I didn't put the foundation on. I just did the powder today.
Ooh.
She wants to get me. Okay.
Oh God.
Last
Okay.
week, we'll do it all. We'll do it all. Thank you so much for your courage. Thank you so much for sharing your story. It definitely gives depth to who you are, to your ministry today. When you stand on that stage and you sing about the goodness of God and his faithfulness and how he's continuing to appoint people in your life in specific roles and the power of just following him and trusting him. Thank you for being that example. Thank you for having testimonies that you can share and walk in and share with your daughters when your daughters can grow up and see this and say, wow, they can say, that was my grandmother. And be encouraged that those seeds are continuing to take root. Ooh, girl, God bless you. God bless you, girl. I love you, Jossie.
Love you too.
Thank you so much for being on Storytime with Sirece this Saturday. You guys make sure you check out Jossie. She's got Mommy Chronicles. She's got an album coming out with some amazing people just like herself. She's on tour. The list goes on. So make sure you guys check her out. I'm going to pop her information all here down below so you can just click on it and find her. I'm telling you, she's got gems to share. So don't miss out. Jossie, you are amazing. I got to have you back.
Love you. Okay. I can't wait. Looking forward to it.
Oh, girl, this was amazing. Girl, you got me messed up in the morning. Oh.